Winnie can start.
Jürgen, sadly, the opening question is going to be about what hopefully everybody in this room sees as the unacceptable abuse of one of your players racially this week on social media. How do we go forward? What's your view of that?
It's disgusting. It's another example for something what should absolutely not happen, and we should not see it as a Chelsea thing or a Liverpool thing. So it's another sign for something is going wrong a little bit in a moment outside there. But it's still only a few people are doing it. But the stronger the reaction is from all the rest, from all of us, the more it probably will help to avoid things like this in the future. That's why I said that these guys now. It's not always, and it happen in other parts of life as well. But these guys now are football fans, so if you do something like that, you should not be allowed to enter a stadium again. From my point of view, in your life, because it's just a completely misunderstanding of how life should be. All parts of racism, all kinds of racism are just that some people think they are more worth or whatever valuable than others, and that's the biggest misunderstanding in the world out there. And and I'm a football manager, so it's difficult to talk about all the rest. But I can say, as a part of the football community, I can say these people should not be involved, because football is the best example for how different people, different races, different everything can work together brilliantly. Because go in each dressing room out there in the world of football, and you find them all sitting there together next to each other, and nobody cares about where it's coming from, who your parents were, whatever. They're all interested, but it's never an issue. And so that's what I can say. They should not be, at least. And football is not the most important thing in the world, but at least they should not be allowed to be part of the football community again. And so they did it now, but hopefully this would be avoid that somebody is doing something like this again. And because football is very public, we talk a lot about this, and not only in the moment, but all over the year. So I think we have pretty much a strong voice in that, and we have to use that strong voice. We have to show that we all together think the same. Things like this are not allowed to happen again.
I know my colleagues will probably want to ask you about this, so if you don't mind, if I move it just back to the football and this match this weekend, seen by some as possibly the last big team in inverted commas, because they're up there and the others aren't, I suppose. So how would you see that?
Chelsea's in a really good moment. So that's the most important thing for me to know, because we had now 2 opportunities to watch them during the week. We had them on Monday against West Ham, Leicester night. I watched them, of course, in Prague. And they're really in a good moment. That's the truth. And they could make 7 changes. I'm not 100% sure. 7 changes between the 2 games. So rest a lot of players, and still won the game last night. Have now a good position in the European League as well. So that's the case. And yeah, Chelsea in a good shape. Azar in very good shape. That's a big game for us. Obviously, not an easy one. We know that, but come on, we're in a good shape as well. And it's Anfield, and I said it a few times. We have to create the power of Anfield and to use the power of Anfield again. I'm so happy with our crowd, with our supporters, how they deal with everything in the last month and maybe years since. I mean, it's really great how we all develop together, and this is a good moment to show all the improvement and put all the positive vibes and energy in this game. Not because it's the last big one, because there we have only big games. No, because the only one we play this weekend, and it's against a very strong opponent. And we need all our resources. All our sources to win it, and that's obviously the target.
And in terms of maybe the atmosphere and the feeling, both from yourself and the players and the fans, whether I suppose we like it or not, there's a feeling of deja vu because it's Chelsea and because Manchester City are in the race and because it's this crunch game. So how do you shake off the shadows of what has gone previously? How do you maybe change expectations or perceptions or whatever it might be from that Chelsea match in 2014?
I'm not sure if that's in anybody's mind apart from yours, to be honest. So I didn't think a second about it. I heard about that incident, if you want.
The fans do talk about it, though.
Do they? Do they? Yeah, then I can tell all the fans out there, ignore it. It's nothing to do with us. It's a completely new story. Things happen once in a lifetime, sometimes twice, and sometimes never. So that's how it is. It's all about the game on Sunday and has nothing to do with any games before. I don't know how many Chelsea players are still involved in the game.
Salah was there that day for Chelsea.
Salah, yeah. No, then we changed it completely. I would say now he's on our side, and maybe a couple of in my team. Maybe Hendel was involved.
Hendel wasn't involved that day.
Wasn't.
He was here. He wasn't. He didn't play that.
So
day.
probably if he would have been
Sturridge
involved.
was on the bench and Simon was in goal.
So everything changed. So everything. So now I can only the colors and the names of the teams are the same pretty much. So and that's it's all good. And I'm completely positive about the game and not about the result because I know we have to work really hard for it. But I know I like the game on Tuesday night. The start of the game, the direction we had, and all that stuff. There were so many good moments in this game that showed we are really in a good shape. We have to be in a good shape in this moment because we have really big targets. That's clear, but we are, and that's what we have to show again. And we have to really fight for it and not think about. And anybody who wants to talk to any of my players about what happened, I don't know how many years ago, don't do it. Just forget it. It's we want to write our own history, and that's if you do that, then you can only build on the positive of the past, learn from the negatives of the past, but don't try to avoid the mistakes of the past because that always leads in the wrong direction. We have to do it really positive, really front-footed. That's how we did it the whole season, yeah. And hopefully we can do that on Sunday again.
Just on Jordan Henderson, Jürgen, how difficult or how easy a decision is it to continue to play him in that role further forward? And you also sum up the kind of impact that his attitude has on the dressing room overall as well.
Oh, that's good. We do that now from now on all the time. Players come in my office and ask for another position, and I play there. There's no problem. So it's brilliant. We actually, it's true. We had that talk. And then it's all about. I'm maybe not that silly, but I knew that he can play the position. But we had the need on the other position, so he played there really well. But you could see now that he was really high energetic. I would say really lively. Was about a game against Porto. Wow. So. Yeah, no problem. That's my job to bring the players in their strongest position, if possible. If not, then you have to play in another position. So that's how it is. And the best news is you still play. So that's good. And how I said, he played really a lot of fantastic games on the slightly deeper 6. But yeah, it's not difficult that he's now in contention for an 8 because with a performance like Porto, yeah, of course, was pretty high level, honestly.
And I would imagine it's satisfying to have the decision to make a centre-half again now as you have full fit centre-halves ready to play and challenging each other for that starting role.
Yeah. Yeah, we have always to make decisions, so it's not a surprise.
You can rest Van Dijk now if you need to.
Yeah, could. Good idea. So it's like this with Joe. Having Joe around is always it's a very difficult situation because he's what a wonderful footballer he is, but he needs time, and he had not a lot of injury, but he had injuries in the last couple of years, and we have to make sure that he's 100% fit. As long as the other boys are all fit and stuff like that, yeah, Joe can give Joe the time to train and maybe to get some match practice in other games. We will see how we can do that exactly. I'm not 100% sure, but we will need Joe in the last part of the season. Yeah, on good. Dejan did brilliant. They played a really good game after quite a while, being out for for injury reasons. And but it was so important to us that Joel and Birch could play through that period without Joe and without Dejan, and Fabinho had to play centre half as well. So we had a few problems, and the boys they're always really good with it. Now we don't have a problem in this moment with these kind of injuries, so we have the choice to make, and that means everybody needs to show in training or in the games what makes most sense for me gives us the biggest opportunity or possibility to win the next game, and that's all what I think about. And the more players we have for it, the better it is.
Jürgen, you talk about the fans and creating the power of Anfield. Have you noticed a change in their approach this season? I know you weren't here 5 years ago, but 5 years ago they would be lining the streets, there'd be flares, there'd be celebration in anticipation of hope. But when you talk about that power, do you think that they changed with the team this season?
So if I can compare it with, because I have no idea how it was 5 years ago, I feel the positive energy, and I really think it's a massive change. It's from being surprised that we are up there to getting used to it and getting more and more confident. Maybe that's all a process. It's a big process. So that's good. But what I said. The equalizer against Tottenham was for me not the equalizer itself, but like we say, the 5 and 10 seconds after it was for me the best moment for a long time in the stadium. The reaction we showed there was unbelievable, and so that gave us the opportunity to do it on the pitch as well. And that shows, of course, that we feel as one group in the moment, 100% as one group, together with the supporters. Really, that's 100% the truth. That you really feel this. You are not only not walk alone, you are never alone in these situations. And we want to do it for all of us. That's how it is. We try with all we have in a very positive way. We try to keep this dream alive. That's how it is. Yeah, in the moment it's all good, but it doesn't make the games not easier. They are still very difficult, and Chelsea is in a really good moment. We can talk a lot about us and what everything happened during the year, and because the results were that good, and over the years we had so many international good games, fantastic home games. Also, doesn't mean anything for Sunday. That's still Chelsea comes here and they want to get 3 points to make sure that they will win the Champions League next year. And that's the job to do. But yeah, we don't ignore the vibes. We try to use them. And maybe to give them even a little bit of a boost with the things we do on the pitch. That's all we can do.
Jürgen, a similar sort of question actually. With each win and the closer you get to your targets, the sort of expectation among the fans, the excitement really, as you spoke of, grows. And with the 29-year wait, how does that kind of sit with the players, the staff, the fans and the club as a whole?
Oh, I don't think that our fans on this moment like this. They know exactly. It's not like we win a game and then, yes, only 5 to go or whatever. They know that there are still 5 to go. So that's a pretty sensible way to think about it. It's all like it should be, but it's not that it's growing like crazy. And now we have again. So there are people out there that probably will tell us. So we have 82 points in this moment, and probably a few more at the end of the season. And that's a historical season. It's historical. If you in a lot of other seasons, it would be champion with that. But that's how it is. If we cannot say, "But yeah, 90 something, we would have been champion with that," it's not important because we are now in the situation. We had to win all these games, and we had to make sure that we don't lose a lot of games. And we needed this long run of positive results to be in a position because our opponent is Manchester City, and they played. I think it was the FA Cup semi-final and brought from the bench, if I'm right, De Bruyne, Sané and Fernandinho. Wow, that's a nice bench, and left out I don't know who. And that's the situation. That's a really strong. Nobody is hoping or whatever. Everybody's ready to work for it, and that's the only thing we can do. We don't hope it will happen. We want to work for it, and then we will see. That's the answer. But it's not a feeling that if you don't, inside, it's not a feeling if you don't do it, then how can that happen? It's just It's for us, how I said it a couple of times, the first time that we really tried, and not number 29 or something, because this group is like it is in a moment completely new together, and so we tried the first time and not a lot more before, and so if you try the first time, it's not the last time that you tried, it's only the first time.
Sorry to take it back to the racist abuse question, but how has Mo reacted to that? And do you think it's an issue for him heading into a game against the club? I know you said there's no link, but those supporters were alleged to have been Chelsea fans.
I think that's first and foremost nothing to say in public about. So we don't give them these people more than they deserve. That we now speak and tell what one is thinking. The other one, I said what I had to say about it. For me, that's it. Actually, there were official statements from Chelsea, from Liverpool FC, probably from other organizations as well. So I think really a strong reaction is needed. But yeah, nothing to say about it. Nothing else to say.
It's not only Liverpool and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Ian,
Jürgen, just on Chelsea, Eden Hazard against West Ham was great again, and
Eden Hazard against West Ham. He said that.
He's played well against Liverpool, of course, a few times as well.
Yeah.
I mean, in your time as Liverpool manager, would you say where would he rank as an opposition player?
There's a really few really good players, but Eden Hazard, we don't have to talk about that. He's one on his day. He can be the world's best immediately. Immediately, that's how it is. So he had a brilliant career, 100%. So far, it's not over yet. He has a lot of things what I like in football. So I like his joy. He's kind of cheeky as well, strong, quick. He's a good player. Yeah, but how all good players, they have to play against us as well. So, and we try everything to deny at least a couple of his skills, and yeah, that would help us obviously.
I was going to ask, how do you plan for him specifically, or do you try and not think about him too much because you want to do your own thing?
We take 13 players this time, and 2 of them play only against Eden. No, it's the best way to try. I would really say to try to make sure that he cannot shine as he is able to. Is to avoid passes to him. That's how it is. We react a little bit better than maybe other teams did. I don't say it's easy. I really don't say it's easy, because when he has the ball, it's already pretty much too late. So we have to try to read the game, to read the passes and stuff like that. There are a couple of things to do, but at the end, yeah, in a 1-1 situation, you can't defend him. Should come help from somewhere else. That's what it is. But yeah, I like how I said. I like footballs like this. So. If he plays his best game, we have to deal with that. And if he can make sure that they cannot play as good as they usually do, maybe, then it's good for us. So we will see.
In 2014, that team seemed to freeze on the occasion in the game, but your team appears to thrive on the emotions that they've gone through in the last few weeks, and the last minute goals and whatever. Is that something you can encourage, or you have encouraged in terms of living on that?
I didn't think 1 second until I entered this room about 2014.
No, that's
Not 1 second.
no, in terms
So
of your
why
team,
should I? But what we have in our situation is that we tried from the first day to play the best season we are able to play. We didn't compare it to any other season. So because we hope just we can put the level obviously on the next level. So if you want, and that's what happened from time to time. What consistency-wise for sure, and all that stuff. Defending-wise, a lot of moments, a lot of things improved. It was never. We don't compare it. So how can we say how was it that time? I have no clue. If somebody listens to you and feels the same like a lot of you feel, then you are nervous immediately. So that's how it is. I'm not nervous. I'm really. I feel the intensity of the competition, and it's good. But in this moment, we see the positivity of the moment. But we never rested there. We always wanted to have to make the next step because it's not over yet. And yes, we are very positive about it. The boys are positive. The training sessions are positive. It's all clear. But still, it's so difficult. It's still so difficult. And if you want to go through without difficulties, you have no chance. So whatever we can do and encourage the players, yes, of course, with all the things we do during a week, we try to encourage them to play biggest balls football, if possible, to be really to try everything. Because the nice thing in this game is it's not possible to play without mistakes. It's absolutely not possible to play a football game. So you don't have to worry about them. You only have to deal with them. And so if something, we will make mistakes on Sunday, 100%. We have to deal with it. We have to sort it. We have to help each other. And then we can win a football game, nothing else. Maybe because it's Chelsea, you make this kind of stories now. I don't know exactly. And we play at home. Last year, nobody asked me about that before the Chelsea game, honestly. We played them at home. So, but for us, it's really nothing we think about. We are completely focused on the situation now. And hopefully it will work out.
I think what I was trying to say, obviously not very well, was that you seem to thrive on as a person, seem to thrive on the emotion in a game. You see on the touchline. I'm just wondering if this is now a team, almost in your image, and that they embrace that emotion as well and use it as a motivating factor.
I don't know, because we like the situation we are in. But I don't want to say anything about we do it now like this, and that means in 2014 they didn't do it like that. It was just I think it was a different situation. How I said, I had no clue. I watched it from Germany and not that intense because we fought ourselves for probably cup final or whatever. So that's how it was. So it was not too involved in that. But it's our situation, and we want to, in our basis we created, and we want to use it. And yes, I like the emotion of the game, and I like the intensity in the game, of course. But we don't have that each second during the week. It's not that we have always this kind of each muscle is a little bit bouncing or whatever, jumping. We cannot wait. We are pretty serious in what we are doing. And we don't do it only because of the emotional part of the game, but we like that as well.
Okay. David, anything from you? No? Matt, anything from you? No.
I know you've been asked about it a few times this season, but how good has it been the last week for Naby Keita to get him into the sort of contributing in terms of numbers as well as performances?
Yeah, that's what we wish for. It looked really good in training and in the last couple of weeks, and then bringing him against Southampton was not really a brave decision, to be honest, because it looked that good in training, and then he played there. The start was not perfect, but then you saw that I have no better saying, but he found his feet in that game. Probably it's not the right saying, but he got better and better and better, and then it was a really good game. So I really thought it makes absolute sense. We had enough time to recover between the two games to do it against Port again, and then you have this wonderful start for him with an early goal, and then he showed a lot of the things we will see in the future much more often, I'm sure. And so, it's for him for sure. It felt amazing, 100%. He couldn't. I think that the Southampton goal was really emotional for him, and then you could see the pure joy in the Porto goal. So yeah, good moment. Long may it continue.
Thank you.
Welcome.